Hello! Okay. Hi, everybody. Could I get someone to log in to the comments and just comment, see if you could hear me okay? Or if I need to fix anything before we get started? It's banned for school emails? Really? It works on mine. Yikes. Okay. That's kind of problematic. Okay. So, wow. Yeah, I did not know that. Okay, great. So, I want to go ahead and just welcome all of you into my gorgeous live stream. I will be moderating the comments here, so obviously if I see people who I don't know in my AP Euro class, I'll remove you. If I have to, I'll add in kind of slow commenting or add in auto moderating, but I hope we don't get to that. I'll wait a few minutes before we get started. Good to see so many people here. Oh my gosh. Some of you might be wondering, why am I doing this instead of Zoom? Why? Right? Why not just do a Zoom meeting with everyone? Well, I have a few reasons for that. Reason number one is because Zoom is somehow more difficult to moderate than this. The problem with Zoom is that you have to come in, you have to like mute your mic. There's inevitably like 70,000 people who are just not muting their mic and doing crazy things. I think Zoom is really chaotic unless like it's an actual business meeting for some reason. It's not super great for school. The cool thing about this format is it's really easy for you guys to log in and out. It makes more sense in a kind of didactic atmosphere, like me just teaching you things. And you can still ask questions in the comments. You can still see each other. You can still feel like you're a community. I see you guys are all saying hi. It's adorable. I even have a couple poggers thrown in there. This isn't Twitch. It's not Twitch. No poggers are necessary. So, I'm going to wait until probably like 3:05 before we get started. So today's topic, just so you guys know, yes, I know, I can mute kids, but I don't need to yet. Today's topic is, thank you for Happy Teacher Appreciation. I feel so appreciated. Today's topic is going to be preparing for the AP test. So we're going to have a video today, we're going to have a video tomorrow, and we're going to have a video on Thursday. And our topic for today is the logistics. It's a little bit boring. Tomorrow is actually content review. So make sure if you find this kind of format helpful, you come back tomorrow, because tomorrow is when I'll be diving into like literally, like how to literally prepare for the AP test. And then Thursday we'll be going into DBQ stuff, and we'll talk about writing. And hopefully by then everyone will have gotten back their personalized DBQ feedback. Yeah, by the way, I know I messaged at the top, make sure to log in via your school email, but I've figured out that you can't actually do that. So apparently our school does not actually have a deal with YouTube, it's only with Google. Don't worry about donating. Kogi, stop it. You don't need to donate to me. I don't want your money. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And cool, yeah, 3:05. Let's go. Let's do this. We got a lot of people in here. This is great. By the way, some of you have already asked me about what's going on with this AP Euro readiness quiz that's not on Schoology. Mr. White is a big fat liar, right? Like, he says do this thing, and it's just not even there. So I'm going to post it, actually, on Thursday. I'm going to wait to post it, like, the day before it's due. It's literally going to be 10 multiple-choice questions. It's going to take you all of, like, 5 minutes. It's actually just going to be a few review questions based on some stuff that's happening in my videos. It's mostly just to make sure that you kind of know what you're doing ahead of time. And it's kind of I'm mostly doing it because I need to have something that measures whether or not you watched the videos or participated in this week. And the reality is I know if a lot of you have watched the videos by looking at things like comments and everything, but it's just an additional official measurement of your participation. I'll give you a heads up next week. You do not have a traditional assignment. If you take the AP test, that's good enough for me. By the way, Ryan, I have no idea what the live stream length is going to be. Today is going to be probably the shortest one. I can't imagine today taking much more than 30 to 40 minutes. Tomorrow's video, though, that could be longer. Tomorrow we're going to be doing content. There's no way I'm going to be at my computer for more than 2 hours, so I'm going to have to cap it then. But I will be there as long as you guys have questions tomorrow with the upper bound limit of like 5 p.m. Thursday, when we talk about DBQs, same deal. So today should be quick, though. And Chris, I'll answer your question at the end because it's a good question. So let's take a look. What are we talking about today? Well, before we get too deep into it, I'm curious to know how you guys are doing. I don't really know. I haven't really seen you guys. I hope you're sleeping well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Do you feel like your mindset about how things are going is helping you or hurting you? How you guys feeling? Tell me in the comments. How's it going? How are you doing? Will Luna make a guest star appearance? I might be able to arrange this. I might be able to. Stressed and terrified. That's not great, Sam. Right? Don't do that. Yes, Rohan, I got your email. I have not responded to it yet. I will. Vibin', that's good. Sleep schedule non-existent. Yeah, there's a reason why this stream's at 3 and not at like traditional office hours or whatever it is. I thought about making the stream at like 10, and I figured that would be a terrible idea. You guys wouldn't be awake. I wouldn't be awake. I'm supposed to be awake at 10. I am awake at 10, officially speaking. Animal Crossing, yep. My wife is playing a lot of Animal Crossing. Want that 8 a.m. school start. Need to use the sleep. Stress watching Crash Course videos. Great. Great. Okay. You're always welcome to talk to me about anything, as long as it is genuinely appropriate. So shoot me any emails. Feel free to respond on Schoology. I'm more than happy to chat about how things are going. If you need help with anything, if you just need to be like, yo, Mr. White, this COVID stuff is crazy, I'll be like, yeah, bruh, it's crazy. So if you need any of that, let me know. But overall, I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves, and I hope you are not overworking too much. This AP test is actually kind of nice. You do not have to prepare as much as a normal AP test would have you prepare. You can definitely relax a little bit more than normal. You only have one thing to focus on, right? The DBQ. So let's get into it. How do you guys do the AP test, right? What's happening? I'm gonna wait for DBQ questions. Hold up on that. So let's just start talking about what's gonna happen in the next week. So first thing you need to know is you need an AP exam e-ticket to even take the test. Now, you should have gotten, thanks Anthony, appreciate it. You should have gotten a e-ticket in an email already. If you haven't yet, it should still be coming. It's going to be 2 days before each test. Okay, so that means you guys won't get yours till the 11th. That's Monday, so just keep an eye out for that on Monday. You need this ticket to take your exam. So each of you are going to get a unique ticket with unique code. You can also access your e-ticket in your student account on MyAP, and I really hope you are, at this point, bookmarked the College Board website. Oh my god, my wife is in the chat. This is wild. I'm going to add her as a moderator. Holy cow, look at that. Feel free to go on to collegeboard.com. If you actually go into AP Classroom too, I've already gotten a few student emails and questions about like, hey, where are some practice DBQs I can take? AP put a bajillion practice DBQs up, and you can actually access them through AP Classroom. You can also take some of the practice DBQs that I've specifically posted. The ones I posted are, I think, on eras 6 and 7. So you can take those too, and those ones you actually do need to get like the lockdown browser app to take them. AP requires that, which is kind of a bummer, but it's not that big of a deal. So, your e-ticket is, I think, the same, I believe, for pretty much all of the AP exam dates, something like that. So if you have multiple AP tests, you should basically be getting one e-ticket for all of the AP exams you're taking. I believe the e-ticket changes for makeup exams, but other than that, for the most part, for the regular exam schedule, you should be getting the same e-ticket. Just so you guys know, there's a bunch of different AP tests going on. I have no clue what all AP classes you're in. I do know that you're all in AP Euro. So you guys will have your AP exam at 4 p.m. on May 13th. That's Wednesday. So that means you guys need to be ready on May 13th to take the test. And that also means you guys need to be on your computer before 4 o'clock, and I'll get to that more in 1 second. AP made it really clear to me, and to hopefully through you guys, through your email, that there's not really a whole lot of structural changes to AP scoring this year. As in, they're not going to change all the scoring questions around. They're not going to give you like totally different scoring numbers. It's still going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 system. They're saying that it's not going to be more difficult to earn a 3, 4, or 5 this year. That means they're not going to be grading any more harshly. And it actually probably is easier if you're a good writer. If you're more of a fan of multiple choice, this year could be harder because, as you know, it's just a DBQ. Remember that technically they do not grade the exams on a curve, meaning that when they grade it through the rubric, they don't grade on a curve. What that means is, let me try to explain this. Historically, they have curved somewhat 3, 4s, and 5s. And I feel like it's kind of strange that they're saying that they're never graded on a curve, because I know historically they once were. But nowadays they don't. They actually have these kind of unsaid thresholds that once you get a certain number of points, you get a 3. Once you get a certain number of points, then again you get a 4 or a 5. That's good news for you. If you are getting, 7 or 8 points out of the possible 10 on the DBQ, you can reasonably expect to get like a 4 or something like that. So let me kind of go into how do you actually answer these questions. You have 3 options, 2 of which make sense and 1 of which is absolutely crazy. You can type out your response in a Google Doc or a Word doc, or you can type your response in the browser. And the third option is completely nuts. You can handwrite the AP test. And then take a photo of it and upload it. Yeah, Isabel, I'll respond to that in 1 second. You actually can, kind of. I'll explain in a moment. Because they can't really stop you, right? They don't recommend it. Yes, that's right. We'll get to that in a second. So I highly recommend you do not handwrite it. It's like, this is like the 1 year you get to type. Why would you ever handwrite? But I highly recommend opening up a separate computation app or a writing app or something like Word or something like a Google Doc, because I really am a big fan of Google Docs in particular because it autosaves right as you're typing. The worst thing I can imagine is you're in the AP app and you're typing, and then all of a sudden you accidentally hit refresh the page or something, and everything just goes away and you hate your life. So if I were you, I would get a separate window open with a Google Doc, type in there, or with a Word doc and type in there, and then copy paste it in when you go to submit. That's my recommendation. But I mean, hey, if you're a crazy madman, feel free to handwrite that and upload it. But I'm not gonna help you here. You're on your own if you want to do that. If you want to go with using a separate tab, they even mention Google Docs is fine, right? They don't care that it's a web app. Don't include any images. Don't be silly. Don't use crazy fonts. Make sure that you type your AP ID and initials at the top of the response. And make sure in the last 5 minutes you're in the business of copying and pasting your response, right? They're actually giving you 5 more minutes than they normally would just for submitting. Also, you can actually just upload a document directly. So you can actually just type something in Word, download it or save it, and then upload it. Same kind of process. If you guys haven't already, hopefully you've gotten a bajillion emails from Mrs. Brown about reviewing your contact information. This is absolutely crucial. You need to make sure that your AP emails at this point are being, especially if you're a senior, are being redirected to your personal email. Yeah, no Comic Sans, you fine. Get out of here. And yes, Diego, you're going to get the documents right as the test starts. So make sure if you haven't already, change your AP email to a personal email. You lose your Novi account when you graduate, like real fast after you graduate. And that means that you won't get to know your scores. You won't be able to access your AP account. You won't be able to change your password. You'll be basically locked out of your AP account because you're the silly goose who did not use a personal email. So if you haven't already, change your AP email to be a personal email, not your school email. Make sure that you have your whole system set up. Like, I didn't just, run over to my computer at 3 p.m. today and just turn on the live stream out of nowhere. I took some time. I had to load up my streaming app, my encoder, right? I feel like a Twitch streamer now, guys. I got like my own encoder and everything. I'm like a big deal, right? So make sure you check your tech, you get everything ready, and you're sort of ready to go. Like, you got your beverage, you got your snacks, you've used the bathroom, everything's all set. You've told everyone in your entire house to not use internet for like an hour, whatever you need to do, right? You told your brother to stop playing video games or whatever. Or your sister. So you receive your confirmation, you put in your e-ticket, and you get going, right? At no later than 4 p.m., right? So I would be on your computer being ready to go by 3:30. It is better to be bored and wait and like refresh Google News for like the 40th time than it is to get on there at 5 minutes late and miss 5 minutes of the test. No, guys, we're never gonna... No, I don't even play Valorant. Get out of here. Stop. Okay, so, your contact information, this is a big one. I've already gone over that. Make sure you put in your personal email. Check your tech. Make sure you know what devices you're using. You are technically allowed to use a phone or an iPad. That is a terrible idea, and I highly recommend against it. If you have access to a laptop or a desktop, get that access. Borrow your parents' computer, borrow your siblings' computer, your uncles, your aunts, whatever you need. I would highly recommend against a phone. So to answer some questions from earlier, do you need a lockdown browser? No, you do not actually need a lockdown browser. You will need to remove the Grammarly plugin if you have that, because it'll interfere with the process of doing the AP exam. But they're not requiring a lockdown browser because it's going to be too hard to manage, and it's going to be too easy for students with multiple devices to basically ignore that, right? I mean, like, if you use your computer and then you pull out your phone, you can still Google things. So they've kind of just decided to give up on that, which is just as well. Yeah, don't do AP testing on the Nintendo Switch. So make sure you have the device you want. It should be pretty easy. Get ready to type, get all your stuff together, pre-make your document with like your name and your AP ID at the top and all that stuff. Practice submitting responses. The AP right now already actually has something ready to go because it was May 4th starting yesterday. You can actually submit demo responses, as in like you can submit a response that all it says is like, I like poop, right? And you can submit that just to practice with the process of submitting a Word doc or anything. So that will make you comfortable with the whole process. If you are in world language, there's a bajillion extra things you have to do. I hope you don't. I hope you don't have to deal with all that. But if you do, hopefully your world language teacher can walk you through all the additional craziness that is involved with the world language test. Optional class resources. So I saw a lot of students chatting in the comments. If I look back here, Sam was asking, Nanami was talking about it, and Sai was talking about it, Isabel was talking about it, Nick was talking about it. So can you use outside resources, right? If there's no lockdown browser required, can I just, pull out my old blue sheets? Can I whip out my textbook? Can I do this? Can I do that? Yes. Yes, actually, you can. It is strange to me that they're just actively saying, yeah, feel free to whip out your textbook and just, outside evidence was never easier. But, yeah, don't look at you guys and clipping me, jerks. But yeah, feel free to pull out all those sources that you have, like blue sheets, textbooks. If you have the ability on an AP test to do this kind of stuff, please take advantage of it. Get your Google Docs together, get your notes together, have them in a way that makes sense to you, organized, taken care of. I even required you guys to turn in something last week that was like your notes, right? So hopefully you all have something at this point that you can use. You're not allowed to use shared docs, though, that are actively being shared. So shared study notes must be downloaded to each student's device to prevent collaboration violations, right? It's because, obviously, if you're all communicating with each other in a Google Doc, that's going to be really problematic. If I were you, I would just have your own stuff ready to go, even on paper. It's annoying to tab through stuff while you're writing, so it's actually really nice if you have access to a printer or if you have access to any other paper to have it right on the side. Lucy, can you cite the textbook? You don't really need to. Also, they're not gonna like double check your citations. The best thing to do is, and the best way to use your textbook is to use it to find what we would call common knowledge, right? So don't use quotes from the textbook. Don't even paraphrase, really. But if you can't remember everything about the French Wars of Religion, and that's what the DBQ is about, and you're like, man, I feel like there was some crucial event in the French Wars of Religion that was a turning point in the French Wars of Religion, and you go to your textbook, you go to chapter 4, you look up French Wars of Religion, and you're like, oh, the St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre, right? And you're like, oh gosh, that's great, and the docs don't even have that in there. Then sure, go ahead and just use that as you will. So to answer your question, Lucy, I wouldn't say cite or paraphrase, more just use your textbook as a way of refreshing your memory about kind of things you're already familiar with in the back of your head. Yeah, Drew, they're not really... Oh, and Nami, I believe outside evidence already was pretty specific, right? You can't be too vague with your outside evidence. Drew, is College Board really not disclosing all of the security measures they're using on us? Yeah, they're really not. I don't really know exactly how they're going to monitor this. I'm really confused too. To be honest, it's going to be kind of a hot mess. We'll see what happens. If I were you, I would just play things safe, right? Do not try to push the envelope here on cheating on the AP test. It's just a bad note to go down. People are paying tutors to write an AP essay for them. Is College Board doing anything to stop that from happening? Probably. They're not going to tell us how they're going to stop people. Generally, whenever any company wants to prevent foul play, they don't release their methods of finding out people, because then people can, circumvent that. So yes, I would say yes, they are trying to hunt down foul play and cheaters, but they're not going to explain how that's going to be done. This second thing on this slide is really relevant to you guys. Searching the web is a huge waste of time. Don't Google your way to victory. It's going to be bad. In general, the internet is going to confuse you more than it's going to help you. Your textbook was written with AP in mind, right? They have literally designed their textbook. They have done all this work, all of this research, all of this collaboration to create a source that is helpful to a student of AP European history. The internet, and many articles on the internet, specifically Wikipedia, are not designed to be relevant to AP European history. In fact, many of those articles are wrong, right? I've had to edit Wikipedia articles myself, right? So just be aware that the internet is not a safe place for reliable information, especially when you are on limited time, like, I don't know, 45 minutes. And obviously copying from websites, social media, online forums, Facebook, Reddit, whatever, is a terrible idea. That is like the easiest thing for them to find out. The last thing you want to do is be just like uploading something you saw from Reddit, and that's probably going to be done with terrible consequences. So just don't make those mistakes. Use offline, outside resources like your trusted notes, your textbook, etc. Do not use brand new, unreliable internet sources to help you out during the test. Any questions on outside resources and using them on the test? Let's take a look. Yeah, Jenny, they're not going to really grade you. Well, they are going to grade you differently because they have a new DBQ rubric, but no, there's not really like a harsher grading scale to make up for all the outside notes. If that makes it sound like it's going to be easier, I think it probably will be easier this year. Yeah. Okay. So, let's move on. So, look out for your exam confirmation email. You should receive an exam confirmation email on May 4th, which was yesterday. So please check your emails at this point, and double check that you got that. I'll give you a moment even if you need. Open up a new tab. If you're not registered for an AP exam or you weren't part of the XP exam registrations, it's too late. 2 days before each test, so May 11th, you'll get that e-ticket. Laura, can we Control F our own notes? Yes. Yeah, that's ideal, right? Having a huge fat document, that would be great, right? Where you can just Control F through it, and just find whatever info you need. This guy's getting timed out. He's going memeing too hard. He's memeing out of control. Alright. So, yeah, you gotta have a healthy amount of memes. You can't go too hard on the memes. So, as a final review, 30 minutes before your test start time, use an e-ticket to check into your exam. Make sure your identity information is tied to an outside email. Make sure all that's taken care of. Your exam will auto begin. 45 minutes to answer the question and an additional 5 minutes to submit your response, right? So you'll have 50 minutes total. Also, Drew, you're about to get timed out too here. Oh my gosh. You guys are just children or something. It's almost like I'm just in a huge chat with a bunch of high schoolers or something. It's just crazy. Yeah, come on. So, finally, your testing environment, right? And just some kind of final little bits of advice from AP. Yeah, Koki, I'll get to that in 1 second. Your testing environment is crucial. You need to make sure, and this is probably one of the hardest things, right? You need to make sure that your testing environment is healthy. So you need to kick people out of the room. You need to tell your family that this is serious business. You need to tell them, if necessary, that there's $1,000 of tuition possibly on the line, right? If you have limited bandwidth, I love that they say this. Ask others on your network to limit the use of their internet during your exam, particularly high bandwidth activities like, and you can tell that it was a bunch of like 40, 50-year-old people in Kansas City who were like, hey, what are the kids doing these days? Fortnite and Netflix, right? Classic. But yeah, seriously, make sure other people in your family are not using too much bandwidth. Ollie, that's funny. So have everything ready to go, right? Just be prepared, right? Ooh, sorry about that. I'm like moving the stream around. So exam security, they're not giving away any extra information here. They will be using sophisticated detection technologies. Those techniques will remain confidential to maximize their effectiveness. We'll be monitoring social media and discussion sites to detect and disrupt cheating. We may post content designed to confuse and deter those who attempt to cheat. That one is really interesting to me. I am actually wondering if, to a certain extent, they actually plan on posting like red herrings on social media. Like they might be posting strange, like they might be creating accounts on Facebook and Reddit and like creating fake users who are being like, hey, use this response and you'll get an A or whatever, to like basically fish people into cheating. So yeah, just in general, like watch out, right? Like just do your own, take care of yourself, do your own business, don't work with others. In general, just play things safe, and you'll be fine. I don't really know any more than their exam security technology slide is telling me, and I think that's on purpose, right? They're not going to give me any special information either. And I know there's a few questions floating around, and I'll answer them in a second. I did get one question from Rohan that's actually answered directly by AP. What happens if something goes terribly wrong? If you accidentally close your browser, your device crashes, your internet explodes, you can quickly click your e-ticket to return to the exam. And basically, if you have issues with your test, you can probably pay to do the makeup test. I think that, like, let's say you're mid-test and a lightning bolt strikes and just blows up your internet, right? It takes out your power line or something. I think at that point, there's probably no way to take the test anymore. But I believe that the makeup test you could still sign up for and they'd understand. Let me look at some other questions we got here about this. Yeah, Victoria, I don't know if that's legal for them to hack your microphones, but I don't know, man. Just I don't think they're gonna do that though. I don't think they're gonna do that. All right, do I have anything more? Oh yeah, AP exam scores. As usual, 2020 AP exams will be scored by AP readers, yada yada. This is something that they do every year. They send a whole bunch of teachers to Kansas City and they have them score things. This year they won't have to do that. They're probably just going to do it remotely. They'll have AP teachers remotely grade. If you're wondering, am I grading other people's AP exams? I'm not. I did not sign up to be a reader. It's so much work, but one day we'll probably do it because I get paid to do it. But it seems awful. You just sit around and grade all day? Yikes. So scores are going to be reported on the usual scale, and you guys should get your scores about July 15th. Make sure you guys sign into my AP no later than June 20th to indicate which colleges or universities should get your scores, because after June 20th, it costs $15 for each AP score to be sent out to colleges, which is not great. So make sure you figure out who wants to get your scores if you're trying to save money. You might notice that means you have to let them know before you know what your score is. What that means is you might want some discretion in that. It kind of depends on what you're thinking. In general, most schools don't hold it against you. They usually only see your score in a positive light, or they ignore it. But I don't want to give too much advice on that because I don't know too much about the college admissions process. Okay, yeah, here's the final slide from AP. During this challenging time, the AP program wants every interested AP student to have the opportunity to earn the college credit that they've been working toward all year. Stay safe and stay healthy. Right. So, at this point, I'd be more than happy to answer some questions about the DBQ, what's happening, any other questions you guys have. So, earlier there was someone, Koki mentioned, are there any changes to the DBQ this year? There is. I have a whole 8-minute video where I talk like a robot that I am happy to share with you guys. Let me actually get a link for it, and I can just post it in the comments. Let's see here. Videos. Hi, I'm Mr. White from Novi High School. And go back to my comments. So yeah, if you're looking for any advice on what is this new DBQ, what's it all about, feel free, and I'll write this down for those of you who have muted me out at this point. Could be a few of you. So for those of you who are wondering what's going on with the DBQ, it actually is 10 points, not 7. It's a little complicated. There's some changes being made. You're only going to get 5 docs, and you're only going to get stream within a stream. So you're only going to get 5 docs, and you'll have to respond to 4 of those docs, meaning you'll have to use 4 of those docs in your essay. Also, some other things you need to know that are relevant is you can actually get 2 points for outside evidence. So you can bring in 2 pieces of outside evidence, and you'll get scored individually for each one. And on top of that, there's 2 points for sourcing. And for the sourcing points, you get an additional point for each time you source. So you actually get 2 points just for sourcing twice. Finally, there's an additional point given to using just 2 out of the 4. No, wait. There's an additional point for just using the docs correctly. I forget how that last one is used. That final 10th point is practically, it seems like a free point to me. It's almost like if you have been doing well on DBQs, if I told you in DBQ feedback that it's coming out to a lot of you, I know pretty much everyone, almost everyone in 2nd and 3rd hour got their DBQ feedback. 5th and 6th hour still waiting for theirs. If I told you that you got full credit for using documents, I can't imagine you'd miss the 10th point. I go into detail on how it works in my 8-minute video. Anyone else have any big questions? Emma's asking about Phoebe and Luna. I might be able to arrange that. Any other questions? Hello? No? Stream is dead? Chat is dead? Okay. Yeah, here we go. Here's a couple questions. So if we just do everything like we're supposed to do, everything should be alright? Yeah. Yes, Nanami. If you follow the directions and you review the new DBQ format, I think you guys will be set. What's the best way? What's the best way to review now? In my opinion, the best way to review, first of all, 100% the best way to review right now is to double check the DBQ format. If you aren't familiar with the DBQ format, you want to check that right away. Second thing you need to do is review content, and just make sure you're reviewing the right content. So you want eras 1 through 7, if you will, in the AP, or units 1 through 7 according to AP, which is eras 1 through 3. For us, just remember that's everything before World War I. If we write practice DBQs, is there any way or any place that we can get them graded? In general, I would be okay grading some people's practice DBQs. Shoot me an email with your practice DBQ, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I will give everyone one chance at me grading your practice DBQs. I have to be careful about these things, because next thing you know, I'm going to get like 300 emails with additional DBQs, and I'm just gonna drown in DBQs. But yes, considering that Rohan already asked me to grade one, I might as well say yes for one for people that want to send me one. Best online outside source websites. Wojtek, no. I think the best place to get outside sources is your textbook. I think you're going to have a better time. It'll be faster. I would not worry so much about using the web for that. Best way to study the content, to review. At this point, especially since you can access your textbook for outside sources, the best way to deal with reviewing right now is the big trends, right? Just be really familiar with everything. Don't worry so much about the details, because you can always go back to the textbook or your review documents for details. The big thing is just be really fluent on your contextualization and the big ideas. Are there practice DBQs on AP Classroom, Nick? So many, and they're available to you already. Go ahead and just go to your AP Classroom, look around for a minute, and you'll find them. It's really annoying for me to figure out like what your view is like on AP Classroom. AP Classroom for me does a really bad job of showing me what the student view looks like sometimes. So I don't even know how to get to them. But I believe if you go to like the question bank or like assigned quizzes, they're there. EFON, they're optional ones. Yeah, they're not graded, but they're ways for you to practice. Again, I can grade some of them, but I can't grade everything. Imagine if I graded like all of the DBQs that everyone tried to give me. I would be a very sad man. I would just spend my entire life on this computer grading DBQs. Eugene says, should we create another big review guide of our own? Not necessarily. You could just expand upon the one you already made. I don't think you need to, throw the old one away. You could just add more. Based on past year's CBQ questions, what era do you think this one could be? Ooh, I have no clue. I got this weird. I'm gonna be wrong on this, and you guys are gonna be mad at me. But maybe I just shouldn't do it then, because I'm gonna be wrong. But I'll do it anyways. I'll place my bets on era 3. That's what I'll say. So the time period between 1640. No, sorry, the time period between 1815 and 1914. I got this weird feeling that they're gonna ask you about the 1800s this year. I don't know. I might be wrong, but I got this weird feeling. Would watching the AP Year review videos made by College Board be enough for review? Hope, I would say yes, actually, simply because of how many there are. There's like 30 plus videos that are like 45 minutes long each? Yeah, heck, if you watched every 45-minute video from AP, yeah, that would be more than enough. I would recommend not watching their first few videos, because they're just about like new content that you won't be on the AP tests, like Inner Warriors and World War II. But yeah, if you were to go back and watch their big review videos, that's actually going to be probably really helpful, because you're going to get a good overview. Yeah, Alexander, time to study Era 3, nothing else. Thanks, Mr. White. Yeah, that'll be all my fault. Okay, any other big questions? Table any questions on content for now. I'll answer those tomorrow in tomorrow's video. And if you have really specific questions on the DBQ, I'll answer those on Thursday. But if you have any like big broad questions, do you think creating a timeline is a valid way to review or prepare for the DBQ? Yes, timelines aren't bad. They actually help a lot with contextualization, which is really useful. If you always want to be able to do the contextualization without any help, right? You never want to be in a position where you're referencing your outside sources in the first introductory paragraph. Like, you're just going to be so slow, you're never going to finish that DBQ. So you should be able to do all contextualization for any time period from memory. So definitely a timeline would be useful. Rishi asks, is there a way we can see past PowerPoints? You bet. Go into archive courses on Schoology. So you click on Schoology. You go to courses, and it'll give you like all 6 of your courses, kind of like in these big boxes, right? And then you click on the big My Courses button in blue. It's on the upper right-hand side, and it should list all current and past courses, including archive courses, and you can access all the semester one stuff that way. Anything else? Okay, if you guys hang tight for 1 minute, I will grab the nearest animal I can find. So hang tight for 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna turn off my camera so that you guys don't have to see my sweatpants, because I might be like look like I'm dressed up here, but I got sweatpants down there. So we're gonna turn this off real quick, and I'll go grab an animal. See which one I can find. Well, considering that you came. Okay. Come here. Ugh. Alright. So, for those of you who wanted the cat, you didn't win. The dog decided to join. She actually just ran up the stairs. So, Luna, wave to everybody. Oh, I'm gonna get kissed on the ear. That's good. Sorry, comes back with an insect. Luna's pretty happy. Luna is pretty sure that this whole COVID-19 stuff is great and it's wonderful. And I'm actually starting to think that it was all planned by the dogs, because I've been looking outside and everyone is taking their dogs on walks. Everyone is taking care of their dogs, hanging out with their dogs. Like, I wake up every morning, and it used to be like during the school year, like I'd be like rushing, right? I gotta go to school, I gotta eat cereal, I gotta dress, and Luna's just like in the way, and she's trying to like be cute, and I'm like, I gotta go. But now every morning I drink my coffee, and someone sits on my lap, and we snuggle. It's true. It happens. So, yeah, I think COVID-19 was a conspiracy created by dogs. I think dog scientists made it up. Don't actually cite me on that. I'm kidding. But it definitely strangely seems to benefit the dogs of this world. I mean, to give you an idea about how deep this conspiracy goes, multiple teachers and even some admins have gotten dogs in the last couple weeks. I think Miss Dinkelman got a dog. Miss Brown got a dog. The Nami cereal's bad breakfast. It's Cheerios. Okay, it's Cheerios. It's healthy, right? It says on the commercials that it's healthy, so it has to be. Duh. Okay. So, I will let you guys go. I will be back tomorrow. I'm gonna go actually take this one on a walk. I think that's my next game plan. Yeah, dog scientist made it. It's possible, guy. You never know. So I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Feel free to come back at 3 tomorrow, and we'll be doing review. I'll have some practice questions. So tomorrow, bring a Google Doc, bring a notepad, and get ready to respond, because we're going to be actually doing some cool content review, and we'll be going over stuff. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 3, and I hope you guys liked this format and found it helpful. To me, I'm seeing this as a success. I see lots of people happy and participating on here. And Lucy, when this is over, can I talk about more conspiracy theories? No, I'll probably get fired. So I will see you guys tomorrow. And stay safe, have fun, try to get outside, study, but don't go crazy. Take care. I miss you all. Bye now.